Emotions actually have energy, but the real problem is that we don't want to feel those unpleasant feelings. Happiness results from integration, acceptance, non-resistance, and allowing. Happiness is the residue of letting go of what stands in the way of recognizing our true nature, which is bound in love. Nothing is permanent, especially not emotional disturbances. So see life as a play and don't take it too seriously. Feeling stuck, frustrated, held back from the success and happiness you deserve? Then I might just have the answer for you in this episode of the Self-Discovery Show. I want you to consider that there's just one particularly stubborn obstacle that trips up human beings. And it's something that we don't get to learn about very much at school. And it's certainly not something that most of us want to spend too much time thinking about. And that are your unpleasant, unwanted, difficult feelings and emotions. And it's those pesky things that pop up when we least need them to. In fact, there's never a good time for them to show up. I'm talking about those feelings that are so powerful that they can derail your best laid plans, wreck your confidence, and steal your happiness. But what if you could turn the tables and actually master your emotions once and for all? Today, I'm diving deep into the secrets of mastering tough emotions and how to navigate through them so that we can lead a more balanced and fulfilling life. In this episode, we'll explore the nature of unwanted emotions, understand their impact on your life, and then I'll share some practices to transform them. We'll look at what scientific experts have to say about this and also delve into philosophical and spiritual insights. Welcome to the Self-Discovery Show. On this show, I'll be sharing with you what I've learned over the last 3 to 4 decades and what's unfolding in my ongoing personal and spiritual transformation. Hi, I'm Smita Joshi. I'm the author of the Amazon bestseller, The Karma and Diamonds Trilogy. It's a journey of self-discovery across continents and lifetimes. It's about finding the real you amidst life's chaos. I'm also a transformation coach and a certified yoga teacher. So let's unpack the problem. That's the blot on the landscape of every human being's life. More than that, it's a big block to happiness and peace. The block that we're talking about is unwanted, difficult emotions and feelings. Psychologist Dr. Rosenberg is the author of 90 Seconds to a Life You Love, How to Turn Difficult Feelings into Rock-Solid Confidence. She says that if you can experience and move through just 8 unpleasant feelings, you can pursue anything in life. She lists those emotions as sadness, shame, helplessness, anger, embarrassment, disappointment, frustration, and vulnerability. See, emotions are not just things that you feel. We already know that emotions have a massive impact on our health and well-being. But there's an interesting finding by a chap called David Hawkins, who's a psychiatrist and the author of a book called Power versus Force. His research shows that emotions have energy. Emotions actually have energy. He's found that an emotion can actually be measured to show a specific amount of energy. According to Hawkins, how to handle our emotions and how we feel on a moment-by-moment basis is critical to our health. This, he says, is because emotions impact us on a cellular level in the body. Positive emotions show up as higher levels of energy in our magnetic field, and lower emotions such as shame, rage, remorse can even kill us. So emotions are literally energy in motion. Given how miserable these emotions make us feel, we mostly resist them by denying or suppressing them, and you might even push them away and distract yourself with social media or Netflix. You might avoid these feelings by stashing them away in the back of your psyche and never thinking about them. And you might even avoid the people who trigger such emotions in you. Some people might turn to things like gambling, comfort eating, smoking, drinking, or substance abuse to numb the pain. Some people might project their shame, disappointment, or rage onto others by blaming them for their problems or even provoking fights. I've grown up in a culture where whenever an awkward feeling or situation arises, the reflex is to just ignore it and let it go. Just ignore it. let it go. What unpleasant emotions do is that they take us outside of our comfort zone, and that's why you might run straight back into familiar territory and lock the gates firmly behind you by resisting, avoiding, or numbing those emotions and feelings. The thing is, we're not taught how to deal with our challenging feelings like the 8 that Dr. Rosenberg talked about. These 8 are feelings of sadness, shame, helplessness, anger, embarrassment, disappointment, frustration, and vulnerability. As I mentioned earlier, rather we're conditioned to believe that if you're feeling anything other than happy, you must be a loser. So when unwanted feelings or traumas from the past surface and get triggered, or when things happen unexpectedly in life, it can feel like you're being punished or persecuted by life, especially when it relates to sudden unexpected events that have a far-reaching impact on your life. Like, for example, when an important relationship breaks, or you're diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, as I was, and doctors refused to treat me since my disease had progressed to a stage where most specialists didn't have the skills to operate on me, or someone you love dies before their time. Scenarios like these can throw up feelings and emotions that are really intense, often too intense to bear. It's especially at times like these that the buried, unresolved emotions such as sadness and shame and helplessness and anger and embarrassment and disappointment, frustration and vulnerability can erupt and hold you hostage, and can feel like they're just too overwhelming and intense to bear, like they might even break you. And it's not just events either. People in our life can also throw up emotional challenges for us. Unfulfilled expectations that we have of others, or that other people have of us, drive up disappointment or anger or just unhappy emotions. But the real problem is that we don't want to feel those unpleasant feelings. In the Yoga Sutras, written in 500 BC, Sage Patanjali, whom you know to be that famous yoga guy, calls them chitta vritti, fluctuating waves of thought that disturb our peace of mind. Patanjali talks about the mind being like a whirlpool of thoughts at the best of times. We definitely don't need any more chitta vritti to mess up our lives further, do we? But here's the real problem. The real problem is that you really don't want to experience and go through those unwanted feelings and emotions. You want them to disappear as quickly as possible. But why is that? I want you to consider that this is because we believe that it's those difficult, unpleasant feelings that are the cause of our suffering. Think of that. Most of us actually believe that unpleasant feelings and emotions are the cause of our suffering, but that's actually not true. The initial root of our suffering is not that we have feelings that we don't like, but how we relate to them, how we interpret them. It all comes down to what we make them mean. Sadness, shame, helplessness, anger, embarrassment, disappointment, frustration, vulnerability. What do you make it mean when they show up inside of you? The second source of suffering is that we resist those emotions and feelings. Wow, what about that? We don't want them and we resist them. Your suffering actually stems from your resistance of your unpleasant, unwanted feelings then, not the actual feelings themselves. And why is that? That's because, as Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist, said, what you resist persists. What you resist persists. But how? What you resist persists by bringing up the same unwanted feelings again and again and again. And this is because the subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what you like and what you dislike. It only picks up on the emotion itself. So if you don't like someone being angry with you, you'll resist that person somehow. But what percolates through to your subconscious is not your like or dislike of anger, but merely the general theme of anger itself. The reason is why what you resist persists, because subconsciously you keep attracting or creating more of the same of what you don't want. Ultimately, those emotions that we resist become subconscious blocks. They suck up so much energy that there's no emotional bandwidth to experience the more pleasant emotions that you crave and wish for. No emotional bandwidth for happiness. But did you know that there is a cost to you avoiding dealing with difficult emotions? It costs you your health, costs you your self-trust, it costs you your calm and peace, and it keeps you from having momentum and flow in the areas of life that really matter to you. The real cost is your inner freedom and being true to yourself. As human beings, we're designed to experience a wide and rich spectrum of emotions, from primal fear to bliss and every single octave in between. While avoidance tactics might lessen the pain of those unpleasant feelings temporarily, the bigger cost is that it keeps you from being able to experience the more joyous emotions, enthusiasm, lightheartedness, intimacy, rapport, and connectedness in relationships. So then, what's the solution? Is the magic A's. These are the two tools of consciousness for dealing with challenging emotions and feelings. The first is awareness, and the second is acceptance. Let me explain. Awareness is consciously observing what you're feeling without controlling it, manipulating it, or judging it as good, bad, and so on. But when it comes to acceptance, I've noticed that people have a huge misunderstanding about what acceptance actually means. First, let's clear up what acceptance doesn't mean. It doesn't mean being resigned. It doesn't mean rolling over or giving up. In no way does it mean putting up with bad behavior. Acceptance means letting things be the way they are and the way that they are not. When you accept something, you stop resisting it, you stop fighting it, so you are free, and so you free up your energy, your emotional energy. You can then focus on something that you'd much rather experience in your life. But how do you actually put acceptance into practice? Acceptance in practice is to feel that feeling no matter how difficult or unpleasant. Like a fly on the wall, observe the sensations this emotion is bringing up in your body. Observe the bodily sensations, then feel it fully for just 90 seconds at a time, and it will dissolve. Accept it, embrace it, and you will conquer its hold over you. See, the moment you become aware of something, you are no longer avoiding it. Consider that your unpleasant feelings are the golden keys to being free from your suffering. Self-awareness and acceptance are two skills of emotional literacy. Practice acceptance, and it becomes easier to navigate those difficult emotions and feelings. Emotional mastery means not being pulled from pillar to post within your emotional landscape. Resistance is our ego controlling things, whereas awareness is the domain of higher consciousness, the free self within. Awareness is our true nature. It's who we are beyond our human conditioning. The thing is, we're conditioned to believe that feeling happy is good, while grief, rage, shame is bad. Remember, all emotions and feelings are merely a part of the one spectrum. There's no joy without sadness. So if we can dive into whatever is showing up in our life experience without labeling it good or bad, only then can we actually move into the wholeness of who we are as beings of higher consciousness. To quote self-empowerment author Tony Fakri, happiness results from integration, acceptance, non-resistance, and allowing. Happiness is the residue of letting go of what stands in the way of recognizing our true nature, which is bound in love. He is, of course, talking about Atman, as is called in Sanskrit. This is what the sages of ancient India call the consciousness that you are beyond your emotions, feelings, and judgmentality. But what exactly is Atman? Atman is pure awareness. Atman is the essential fabric of who we are. I believe that a key purpose of human emotions and feelings, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the duality of feeling good and feeling bad, is to steer you inwards to your true nature. Once you're ready to accept things as they are, once you're willing to step beyond the duality of good and bad, like and dislike, love and hate, you're set free from the pain and suffering that comes with that polarity. So you can then step into the part of you that exists eternally in freedom from duality. You can then wade into pure awareness, into that state of bliss that cannot be touched by time, space, and external circumstance. So the next time something or someone disturbs your peace, regardless of other people and situations, put into practice these 5 tips to shift your emotional state quickly and feel good within yourself. And here come those 5 tips. Tip 1, name it to tame it. Get clear about the emotion that you're feeling. It all starts with asking yourself what you're feeling in your body, but how many of us actually are able to identify our emotions accurately and to get clear about what specific flavor of an emotion that we're feeling in that moment? You think that pinpointing what you feel is easy and obvious, right? Well, apparently, that is not the case. According to the author of the book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, Travis Bradbury has found that not very many people are skilled at identifying their emotions. Referencing some research, he says that only 36% of people are actually able to identify their emotions. Well, that leaves 2 out of 3 of us who are not able to get to the bottom of what we're actually feeling. So if we can't even put a name to what we're feeling, then what? That's when we shut our emotion down and lock it up into some far recess of our mind and throw away the key. But that's a sure way to get emotional disability, not emotional literacy. How can you figure out what's taking you out of your center so that you can restore yourself to feeling good again? Well, this is where something called an emotion wheel comes in handy. It shows all the flavors of possible emotions, from feeling sad to mad, feeling the various types of peaceful and everything in between. So keep a picture of a detailed emotion wheel on your phone and use it to quickly pinpoint exactly what you're feeling. So for example, if you're feeling sad, you might then drill down a little bit deeper and realize that actually your sadness is just the tip of the iceberg. Someone you respect criticized you unfairly in public. You felt ridiculed, and this is triggering some old sense of unhealed shame. So the real feeling that you're present to beneath that general blanket of sadness is actually shame. Okay, so now you know what emotion you're feeling. Just getting to the bottom of what you're present to will already bring you some relief. Now, you can't change what's happened already in the moment, but having an insight into what's there for you in that moment helps you not to stay stuck in it. In the immediate now, choose to give that feeling no more energy and let it go. When it's a recurring theme in my life, what I do is I make a pact with myself to look a little bit deeper into it so that I can heal and release that particular emotion from tripping me up in some future moment. And this is how you actually develop emotional literacy. Tip 2, ask yourself, what expectation do I have that's not being met right now? Expectations trip us up. When our expectations are not fulfilled, it triggers upset, anger, or some other emotion. Whether it's the barista not getting your coffee right in the morning, or your friend not supporting you when you most needed it. What we don't realize is that we're actually slave to our expectations, whether we're conscious of them or not. Pinpoint that expectation and give yourself the permission in the moment to accept things exactly as they are, and then let it go. Expectations lumber you with unwanted negative emotions when they don't deliver. Okay, while I know it's normal to have expectations, and often you don't even know that you have them, it does tend to put conditions on your happiness and inner freedom. So that tip was about letting go of expectations from people and situations. Call these the shoulds in our mind. The next tip, tip 3, relates to your money or your honey. Take your focus away from yourself, then give your very best and provide insane value to someone else and let the universe do the rest. This is for when you feel stressed, angry, frustrated, or disheartened because no matter how much you've tried, you're not getting the results that you want at work or in a relationship. Instead of being hooked by your emotions, try to move past your personal concerns, wants, and desires and put yourself at the service of others. Like it says in the Bhagavad Gita, do nishkaam karma. Nishkaam karma means taking action, totally committed to the results, but without being attached to the results. So without being attached to the results, do something wonderful for someone else. It sounds like a paradox, right? But the more attached you are to the outcome, the more you push away what it is that you actually want. Coming from making a difference to others and not being attached brings you so much inner freedom. It brings a sense of play. And being playful makes you magnetic to what you want to manifest. Go a step further and actually see your life as a play. The Bhagavad Gita says that life is a leela. Life is a play. It means we are in the play of life in which you are the main actor. So when life feels too significant, heavy, and stuck, remind yourself that you're just the lead actor in the movie that you've chosen to star in for the time being. Now, the empowering thing I find about that is that it opens you up to choice in your immediate situation. The point being that just like any actor, you can choose to change the role that you're playing and the movie that you're starring in. See, the purpose of life is to experience the many facets of our inner being so that we can grow and become a higher and greater version of ourselves. In my humble opinion, that's the true purpose of life. Use your external environment as a mirror reflection of where you need to go next and what new ways of being you should step into. Nothing is permanent, especially not emotional disturbances. So see life as a play and don't take it too seriously. Tip 5. Remind yourself who you truly are. Remember that you're not your mind, you're not your feelings, you're not your emotions. Remember what the sages of ancient India said. They said that you are pure Atman, pure infinite consciousness that lies beyond all of these things. Earlier, I said that you're the lead actor in the movie of your life. Become also the audience and the director of your blockbuster movie. Detach and see things the way that your audience would from a distance. As the director of your movie, direct circumstances to your liking. Shifting your perspective this way empowers you. It empowers you being in charge of your life. Try these 5 tips and you'll see that no matter how bad you're feeling, you can actually have a state shift in just minutes to feeling centered and peaceful. I've learned over the last 3 years and what's unfolding in my own, that's the blot on the landscape of every human being's life. So if you're then give your best and provide insane value. What is that? What the hell happened there? I hope you got value from this episode, and if you've enjoyed it, do join us in the next episode of the Self-Discovery Show. And also check out my YouTube channel and download some free gifts from my website, smitajoshi.com. And I will see you in the next episode of the Self-Discovery Show. These are meditations all based on real events from my own life, intense, magical moments, transformative experiences that I share with you as guided meditations. And in these meditative journeys, you'll find yourself transcending the activity of your mind, connect with your inner self, clear your karma, expand your consciousness, feel inner peace. And that's what you'll get from my guided meditations. You can also find my meditations on my website, smitajoshi.com, on Insight Timer, Apple Music, and Spotify. One meditation is called Drifting Clouds, Wandering Thoughts. I'll guide you to see that your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are but like transient clouds in the sky, like cotton candy clouds drifting gently through the sky. Your thoughts appear and then float away again. This meditation is a practice of letting go. Another meditation is called Floating on the Ocean, Trusting the Rhythm of Life. This one is about learning to trust yourself, trust that the ocean and the universe take care of you. There's one that's called Star-Studded Sky, and I'll take you on a magical journey through the cosmos, floating among the stars, drifting in infinite tranquility, gliding into a state of pure being. You'll see that you're free to let go of things that no longer serve you, things that keep you from knowing your peace and joy. You'll come back feeling light and free, knowing that you too are made of the stars. The 4th is called Walking the Fire, Clearing Your Karma. It's based on when I did a fire walk by the side of the river Ganges after sunset. Take a magical moment, a moment to let go of your fears, a moment to let go of your karma. And this meditation is more unconventional. It's an active rhythmic meditation. This is a meditation where you'll find yourself feeling free to move your body with its hypnotizing rhythm and surrender to its trance and transcend into a sensible lightness. Free old karma and feel fabulous. Walk the fire with me. Do join me on one of these amazing meditations. Remember that you are a spark of consciousness, a sparkling diamond. Let's listen to a few of these meditation samples. Drifting clouds, wandering thoughts. This meditation is a practice of letting go, of mastering your thoughts with ease. Floating on the ocean, trusting the rhythm of life. The clear azure, tropical sky lets the sun shine, casting brightness far and wide. A star-studded sky. It's a warm summer's night. The field around you is open and empty. The grass you're lying on feels like a comfortable bed. The fresh fragrance of the grass beneath you slowly rises in the air. Walking the fire, clearing your karma. It's an Indian summer. A warm, perfect evening. Mother Ganges drifts leisurely by in full swing.